good evening and welcome to the Easton Film Festival Presents. This is Real Talk, one of two shows that the Film Festival presents, and I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Swartz, one of your hosts for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, so I hope you'll settle back for the next half hour, grab a cup of coffee or maybe a little aperitif, and enjoy some film and movie banter that goes on. My guest, as usual, in the seat for Real Talk is Bill Ames. So good evening, Bill, and welcome
Lauren.
Once again to Real Talk.
Well, it's great to be here. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Oh, it started out being your show, and part of the subject matter
I'm
tonight.
Pleased to say it's now our show.
It's now our show. This is our season finale for Real Talk this year. As you just told me, it's about 1 2/3 season of this show. So we have come a long way in the film festival towards producing this show and getting it out to the masses. But most of the credit goes to you.
Well,
you have been the coordinator and the.
Well, I do my piece certainly, I don't do everything. But I think one of the great innovations this year has been this new set.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yes. The Actors Studio set. I think.
It has, I think, changed the way at least this show looks in comparison to all of the other shows that are on Comcast Channel 9 here.
Yeah, I think that's important.
But it has been nice, and with Real Talk, we have done. We've gone out and seen movies, sometimes together, sometimes separate. Talked about them. We've discussed the films that are going on at the film festival, the foreign film series that Ed Hand has been running throughout the year, which is almost at its conclusion as well. And it's been a really nice way to involve the film community in Easton and vice versa.
Yeah, the growing film community.
It really has. We've had a lot of activities this year. The festival, added the Film Jam, which is the 3-day quickie competition.
That was our big innovation this year.
To our repertoire, we had a wonderful opening fundraiser with Jerry Wright, who does a biography of. I guess an acting biography of Frederick Law Olmsted.
Well, yeah, one-man show.
One-man show, and we produced that. It had a very good turnout, and that was also filmed and presented, I believe, on our show for a couple of times.
Excerpts of it were. We didn't. Right. Sadly, our lighting and sound was not up to speed.
And the show was about 2 hours long, so
it was long. But we learned from that.
Oh yes.
Jerry was terrific, no doubt about it.
It was a great experience. So we've had the Real Talk. We've had Jerry. We have the Filmmakers of Easton show, which has grown so much because not only do we have filmmakers who are currently working, like Gina Del Guercio, who's doing a show, filming a real film this summer, but also our local filmmakers from age 8 to 80, I don't know how old they are.
Including the incomparable Scott Spagna.
Right,
who was on the show.
Right, and who does concept productions.
On Washington Street. Did your bar mitzvah?
Did Emily's bat mitzvah last weekend. It was a very excellent and professional job. He did a great job. Well, I haven't seen it yet, but he was everywhere in all of our faces, so that was good. And that's what you want when you're having somebody film an event.
I'm sure.
We had Richard Hudson join us, who is a still photographer in town as well, and talked about the work that he's been doing in the film world.
Yeah, he's added one this year, and as he did last year. Very interesting film this year.
Right, which leads us to the Easton Film Festival competition, which has concluded and has been judged, and we will be screening the films and then announcing and having the final awards on June 19th.
A week from the Saturday.
5 o'clock over at Stonehill College. So for everybody to come out, come see the winners. We will be showing the winning films and presenting awards and honors of note to many people who entered. We also have 2 different categories this year, which is how the competition changed and grew from last year. Instead of just having one set competition, we have a drama and we have a documentary division, and which gave a lot more voice to the different kinds of art that our filmmakers produce. So there's there's been a lot. It's been hard to keep up.
It's a big innovation.
We've had filmmakers coming on to talk about the films that they produced, challenges they had. You also brought some films to surprise me once in a while that were produced at the junior high school, other kinds of things, past productions, and so it's been a very full year as we sat down and figured out what we're going to do to close off the year. But anyway, what we decided to do was focus back to our very beginnings, to the very birth of Real Talk and the Easton Film Festival. And you, before me, when there was another host.
Ron Leone.
Ron Leone, and you have brought back the first episode of Easton Film Festival Presents. So we're going to take a little bit of a look at that, right?
That's
I'm interested
right.
to see it because
we're going to be showing that tonight.
I'd like to look at it because I'd like to see where we have come from.
Yeah.
So I suppose in the control booth, if we can start to run that, let's give it a shot and take a walk down memory lane.
That's it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, residents of Easton. Tonight, the Easton Film Festival is pleased to present the first of its cable shows featuring the finalists of the 2002 competition. Your host is Ron Leone. Ron was the head judge for the competition. He is also a professor of media and film at the communications department of Stonehill College. Ron also has a PhD in film studies from Syracuse University. Tonight, we are pleased to welcome Melinda Pollard to our show. Melinda plays first in this year's festival. She lives in Easton, a student at Bryan College. And now, here's Ron.
So,
welcome to EFF Presents. I'm Ron Leone, and my guest is Melinda Pollard tonight. The EFF began with a small, dedicated group of local residents with an interest in filmmaking. The festival goal was simple. We wanted to give residents of Easton the opportunity to produce a film and enter it in competition.
I like that stripe.
All entries had to be 30 minutes or less, with at least 90% of the production shot in the town of Easton. The project began over a year ago with Saturday seminars on the techniques of production and editing. Highlights of all submitted entries were shown to the public in June. And on June 15th, at the Martin Center on the campus of Stonehill College, the first annual Effie Awards were handed out. The Northeastern Savings Bank sponsored the Effie Awards evening, and we wish to thank them again for their very generous support. Judging was based on several criteria. We looked at the production processes, camera work, the use of sound and music, editing. We also looked at creativity and storytelling ability, as well as acting. And today, I'm very privileged to welcome the first Effie Award Grand Prize winner, Melinda Pollard. Welcome to the show, Melinda.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let our audience know who Melinda Pollard is.
Well, I'm 19 years old. I'm going to be a sophomore at Bryan College this fall. I've lived in Easton most of my life, went through the school system. I've always enjoyed the filmmaking and everything, and I've had a lot of support, so I saw this as a good opportunity to showcase it.
How did you first learn about the Easton Film Festival?
Well, my philosophy teacher in high school was Mr. Hands, and he was one of the committee members, and he had contacted me and he had told me about it, and I had read about it in Easton Journal every week. And a couple of people had kind of said maybe you should give it a try.
So Mr. Hands knew you had talent right away.
Well, I don't know about that, but he was pushing for me to do it at least.
Well, that's great. Now, how about your family? I know that some of your film, which we will see later on in the show, was shot in your home and in your car, I guess. So has your family always been involved in your creative work? Have they encouraged you?
Oh, definitely. I don't think I could be able to do it without the support of my family. They were very, very, very easy to work with. I had basically everybody in my immediate family help me, which isn't that big. My parents and my boyfriend helped me. Wherever you want to go, wherever you want to do. We were out in the rain one night. Mom, I have to clean the house. I have to film in here. It was hard trying to find different spots to go, but I had Dad do the filmmaking.
And they made a good crew.
Yeah, they did. Definitely the best crew. I didn't have to pay them a lot, so.
No dinners, nothing. So tell me about your interest in film and filmmaking. I mean, was it started before Mr. Hands in school, or even since then?
I've always had an active interest in filmmaking. I've enjoyed it. I can remember the first movie I saw. I've always loved watching movies. My mom always encouraged me to watch it and everything. And she was the one who I think probably started me on the love of it. And I remember the first, I think it was like 1992, Silence of the Lambs swept the Oscars, and she let me stay up the whole night and watch it, and I thought that was the greatest thing. But ever since I can remember, I've loved movies.
Geez, that must have been great to see. Did you see the film too at that? You were pretty young.
I saw it a couple years later.
Yeah, that's a great film. Any films like that had an influence on what you do, or at least what you did with your prize-winning film? With
Untitled, I'd say the main inspiration, which a song from it was Magnolia by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think he has an amazing ability to tell stories through the music. And I found that he does his work very personally, and it shows through the individual, and he makes it very easy to understand and feel the emotion. That Cameron Crowe also.
Sure.
I find music is a huge inspiration and a huge way to focus the emotion that I'm trying to portray, as you'll probably be able to see in the movie.
That's great.
But Cameron Crowe's a big one, and I think one of my all-time favorite, All About Eve, Betty Davis. She's my inspiration for acting.
Also, you're even schooled in the classics.
Yep.
That's great. I just wanted to take a minute. Melinda entered 2 films in this year's competition. The second was based on Poe's short story, The Cask of Amontillado.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, shooting that film?
That was the first project I had ever done. I had wanted to do something to work with for applying for colleges, and so I tried that, and I adapted the story myself. I did everything myself. We did it in like 3 hours in Borderland. I was trying to figure out, how can I tell someone how I want them to act? How can I portray what's in my head onto the screen? It was very difficult, but I found that it was a learning process.
So Melinda, tell us about Untitled.
Well, Untitled is a story I've had in my head for a little while. I just couldn't quite exactly figure out how I wanted the story to go. It's basically, it's a little ambiguous. I didn't really want to give away too much. I really wanted the viewer to bring what they thought. Like, I've heard people, their feedback, and they tell me different things, and that's what I like. I wanted it just to be, you decide what you want it to be. It's basically a girl who fights with a boyfriend, they get in an accident, and her life changes forever from there. And it's, what do you think she's experiencing is what I wanted the viewer to take.
I think that as one of the judges of the festival, that was one of the things we took from it, is the universal appeal, and how it seemed like a very personal film.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? It
was. It's a very, I had to find, I'm not obviously a trained actor. I'd never acted before I've been in this movie, so I didn't exactly know how do I bring emotion to the screen. So I had to think of things and stuff that I might have thought was sad, and I just had to think, if I was in this situation, what would I have done? And it's just this.
Okay, so this is how the film festival Real Talk started. We had a normal living room set, not even our beautiful banner that we have, and you had Ron as the host and the winner of the first Easton Film Festival. And we have come to, to evolve into, as you say, this actor's studio kind of set with this beautiful banner, and we have really branched out in terms of exploring camera angles, lighting, some play with titles, that really gives much more of an immediacy and an artistic spin on what is supposedly an artistic show.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's, I think in watching that show, it's interesting to remember back to when we first started, and but just to see the Melinda Pollard and her enthusiasm and her sort of fascination with the craft of filmmaking at 19 years old.
Yeah.
It's very inspirational. I mean, it was fun to hear her say all that again, because you reminded us from whence we came, which was this whole art, because we get caught up in producing all the different aspects of the festival, that it's nice to see the filmmakers, articulating their passion for making films, or their curiosity, or their...
Right. And that's, and on mainstream TV, Inside the Actor's Studio is a very popular show. Talking to mostly actors and some of the more famous producers. But people really enjoy hearing about that art and being inspired. And that's, I think, what this show has turned around and started to do. At least when we run into people on the street, they're, this was kind of interesting. I want to look into this, or, You know, so I know that we are achieving some of these goals. So
I think our plans for next year.
Yes.
In terms of the cable show, we have yet to do a location show.
No, but we've been talking about it.
We've talked about it for a year now.
Yeah.
So I think maybe our first location show will be at Andrew's Bakery.
Right.
During the film series.
Exactly.
Interview some of the people present and get some commentaries.
Right. This year the film series was foreign films that Ed Hands made the list, and it was every other Friday night at Andrew's at 7 o'clock, free of charge, to anybody who came, and we encouraged them to sample Julie's goodies and soups and things. But it was really a very nice experience to watch selected films that I believe Ed pretty much chose himself. Ed and Ron Leone chose. This coming year, I know Ed is putting out a call to the community to suggest classics.
Classic American.
And we're looking at classic American films and to see what transpires, because there was about, well, how many? There's 20 or so films that were screened, and so it was, really a wonderful time. And there's so many classic films that you haven't ever had a chance to see. Many of them are not available at Blockbuster, or you have to get them through Netflix, which many of our aficionados do. But this will be a great opportunity. So if people are interested in having one of their favorite classics screened, please contact us at eastonfilmfestival.com and make your suggestions, because I know that's what Ed Hands is looking for.
Yeah, I think it should be a good. I know he's planning on some Woody Allen night, and it's nice to see it on the big screen. I mean, a lot of these films we've all seen 2 or 3 times, but it's nice to be able to sit back again and see it.
Oh yes, and our Hollywood, America's Hollywood, really came about in a very different art form than some of the foreign country, film evolution, and so it is different. But anyway, so that will be really nice, and so we're looking to do that. A location show or two for Easton Film Festival Presents, which will be a fun challenge for us.
I think we'll need a challenge, because we can't load all this stuff in right away. It takes because everybody's got a busy schedule. But
exactly, and then looking forward with the film competition as well. This year we had 2 categories of competition. We're continuing the 2 categories. We're going to look to see if there's to get more involvement from the film community, and one of the ways that we're looking to do that is expanding our education component of the Easton Film Festival.
That's right. We were supposed to have a seminar at Stonehill this year.
Yes.
But sadly, it was canceled because of that Mel Gibson movie. Stonehill wanted to put a seminar on.
Right.
We got bumped.
So we got bumped off. But we're going to be
next year
continuing our educational mode from the Easton Film Festival by looking into having some editing seminars.
I think that's right.
To help people at home who may think that this task of filmmaking is a little daunting if you don't understand the editing.
Yeah.
And when you do come to the Easton Film Festival competition presentation, you see what people of all ages have been able to create using various editing softwares, and they're not a daunting experience. They really are not.
And I think the Film Jam offers an editing opportunity.
Right.
In that 3 times a year there will be a chance to enter Film Jam, and I think for the upcoming Film Jam over the 4th of July weekend, Scott Finnegan has graciously agreed to serve as editor.
Okay.
So if you're thinking of a program, you want to put together a team, you don't have to worry about the editing, because you can bring it to we'll arrange all this for you.
Right.
But we can you can bring it on Monday to Scott's house, and we'll set up by appointment, and you can come in and edit it with him. You're planning to enter Film Jam, I guess.
Yes, I'm going to be around, but that's the best way to do it, is to watch somebody and get a feel for.
Yeah, Scott's a very good editor.
Yeah, very good.
A lot of experience.
And
so that's part of the educational thing that you're talking about, is that we can. I think Ed Hands, some of his high school students, commented that they wish they'd entered Film Jam in January, because it would have given them a live fire exercise rather than just sort of learning and
Sure.
slugging your way through the windows and the commands.
Right,
if you have the pressure of a deadline is
Sure.
pretty helpful.
And we have many students who have entered the competition this year. Probably half of the entries were students, which is wonderful because this is a place that is going to be on the map in a few short years because we're going to produce a Spielberg or a Scorsese or a Hitchcock. This is what's really going to be
he or
cool.
she is out there as we speak.
Yeah, and I think this is the environment that's going to produce that.
Steven Spielberg, as you know, produced 12 of these things.
Sure, in his little town in Arizona.
His high school years.
Yeah. So we're ready. We're not challenging everybody. We're expecting that that's what's going to happen from here.
Yeah, it's exciting. And I might add, on the cable show, we now our cable show, Filmmakers of Easton, a Real Talk, our 2 shows.
Yes.
Are being shown in Avon, Stoughton, and Raynham as we speak.
Boy.
So that's
Better
nice.
behave myself.
Well, we're hoping, hopefully maybe in a couple of more years, if we continue to get the enthusiasm we seem to be getting for filmmaking in Easton, maybe we can take the show on the road to these other towns, and so they can have their own film festival. We wouldn't consider the possibility of expanding ours to other towns, but rather have each town try to start their own. We've been fortunate that we got together a number of people who were fascinated with film and production, so we managed to do it. But I'll bet in these other towns there's got to be people who are seeing that the software is easy to do.
Right.
So that's an exciting prospect.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
And
so we could have a Bristol County Film Festival.
See?
I think, why not? I think
it'll be in our lifetime.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
Take a while.
And then expanding on what's gone on here with this show as well, we have, as we saw from Ron Leone's first show to this, we have camera crew, we have a booth crew, we have many people who are interested in learning and having a hands-on experience, and as well as if there's more people who are interested out there in camera work, in the graphics, in working the soundboards and all of the aspects, set design, any of the aspects of TV production. This is where you get your experience. So if there's, people who are looking to further their careers or increase, enhance their resumes, this is the hands-on training that this TV show has provided to many people.
Numerous people have come through.
Yes.
Your daughter is
My daughter has been here, and we have David Rodriguez. Who's doing a beautiful job, running the cameras. We're expecting that he's going to go on to TV production, and that will be a wonderful experience. So before we close, because I know we've only got a few minutes left, but I've been seeing a few movies, and you haven't been to the theater.
I have not
recently.
I have not been to the theater.
But we've got a lot of stuff coming up in the summer.
What movies have you seen? Just quickly
I've seen Harry Potter.
We've got about 4 minutes.
Harry Potter, a definite must-see, even if you haven't seen the other ones. Even if you have seen the other one, it's a delightful movie. It is not as dark and ominous as they're saying.
I like the first one.
It's completely understandable. It is definitely not geared toward, I would say, the younger kids. I would say age 10 or 11 and younger, unless they're really intelligent Harry Potter readers, there's a lot of stuff that's above their heads, I think. I went with a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, and it was wonderful. Shrek 2, as delightful as it comes.
Really?
However, again, not for the little ones. There's a lot.
What's a little one?
Little, I say age 8 and under.
Okay.
There's a lot of double entendres. There's a lot of hidden meanings. There's a lot of jokes there's jokes about O.J. Simpson and his car ride. A kid who's 8 years old isn't going to understand that.
But will they enjoy it anyway?
I think so, because it's a cartoon.
If they don't understand it?
They will enjoy it, and the reason they have this older storyline is to pull the parents in and the older people. So, delightful movie as well. And then there's, what's the other? Raising Helen, which was the Kate Hudson film, where she has to raise her sister's children. Adorable chick flick of sorts, but very, innocently fun. But every weekend comes along and a whole bunch of new things come out. Tom Hanks' The Terminal, The Stepford Wives.
Stepford Wives,
I'm
looking forward to that.
Riddick, Tales of Riddick with Dame Judi Dench and Vin Diesel. We've got all kinds of great stuff coming up this summer, so there's a lot of stuff that we hope people go out and see. We know they will, because they got to escape the heat. escape the heat.
Sadly, we will not be filming Real Talk this summer because we are on break.
We're on hiatus,
so
we can go pursue our dramatic endeavors.
That's right. Going to the movies.
You're going to vacation. I have to work at summer camp.
Yeah, what are your plans for the summer, Lauren?
Yes, well, no, I do work at summer camp for 3 weeks in Pennsylvania as part of my job requirement, which is delightful because last year it rained for 3 weeks solid, so it was fun, but I will be absent during the Democratic Convention for part of the opening of the Olympics, so I'm going to miss some of that experience. So sad I'm not going to be around for the convention, but I'll survive.
Well, you can read all about it,
I'll read all about it.
Yeah.
And your plans for the summer?
Well, I plan to mow my lawn.
Oh, sure you do.
That's a big one.
Oh, sure.
Get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and
to
mow
mow.
the lawn.
There you go.
And play a little golf with my friend Ed Hands.
Good for you.
Over the summer
That's
down
right.
at the Easton Country Club.
Very good.
And so I'm planning I'm sort of around this summer.
Well, your shoulder has recuperated,
so
stay away from contact sports, please.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Right.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So if we hope we're going to see people at our final Easton Film Festival, the awards ceremony at Stonehill, June 19th, 5 o'clock. Please look for the signboards in the streets directing you.
We have a good program planned. We will be last year. I think we had 150 people there.
Sure.
And this year, last year we had a videotape by Ron Del Guercio.
Right.
As a featured speaker.
Yes.
But Ron is off in the Klondike this year.
No,
so.
Gino.
Oh, Gino.
Gino Del Guercio. Ron Leone, Gino Del Guercio.
Sorry.
Get them straight. But that's good.
Yes, it's good we're going on break here.
There you go. You do need a little R&R.
But we'll have a review of EFF's operations, which you will provide.
I got to do that.
The past and the future, and we will be showing the winners in the documentary, and the one winner, in the first place and second place in the winner of the documentary and drama.
And the dramas.
Yeah.
As well as many honorable mentions.
And there's an editing award, there's a best acting award, there's a sound award, there's a lot of individual sort of recognition.
Right.
For
and everybody
people.
gets an Effie.
Everybody gets.
The winners get an Effie.
The winners get an Effie.
So.
For their mantelpiece. We actually have real statues, as you know.
Right. And when their homes are featured in Architectural Digest, we can see where their Effies are.
And they're, but everybody will get right. That's it.
I'm a little quick for you tonight.
You're a little fast there. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of what I was going to say.
That's okay. So anyway, I think we're there.
No, we've got a couple of minutes left here.
Good.
So we can talk more about the upcoming ceremony.
Great. I think what's particularly nice, and what was particularly nice last year, was the age range of interest. It's the whole community. It's all of Easton. It's the Stonehill community. Age is not a barrier of any sort in the film community.
No,
it's one of the few things that we have in town that is open to everybody. Men and women. Any age, any religion, any occupation. Well, it does cross over all those borders.
It's wonderful to see at the on the 19th, the Effie Awards Day up at Stonehill Martin Center, 5 o'clock. The last 2 years, how many people showed up?
Yeah.
People, not only the relatives of the filmmakers, but people in Easton who were sort of picking up on it and wanted to come in and see the ceremony. And I think my greatest fun I've ever had in public speaking was the first year when I said, announcing the winner of and the winner is.
There you go.
Like that. I don't know why.
The
Oscar show is so ingrained in everyone's heart and soul.
The Oscar goes to, because everybody's a winner.
Everybody's a winner.
Everybody's a winner.
And so there's, for making films, there are the hopes and dreams and sweat. And it will last a lifetime.
That's it. You have it.
It's there on the shelf,
production.
and it's done.
That's it. So this has been great fun, because my first experience was last year's Effie Awards, and so I have come a full year as well with the Easton Film Festival. So, to thank you very much for getting me involved in this. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a family activity. And I want to thank also the Northeastern Savings Bank, who has been a sponsor of ours all along and been very generous and continues to be supportive for our efforts, as well as Andrews Bakery and Julie and her crew allow us to screen our films there on Friday evenings, every other Friday night. So we thank them very much. And finally, to thank ClearPoint Communications
for their wonderful
who does
work
their
on the
wonderful
website.
their website, which is the way we get all of our information disseminated. So they're truly important.
And also Stonehill College. Did you mention Stonehill?
Stonehill, who
gives us the
allows
Martin
us,
Center,
gives us the Martin
which
Center,
is extremely generous. So it's a first-class
it's
facility,
very nice.
and they do the audiovisual taping of the show. So that's very nice.
They help us with that. And then finally, you know, Robin Souza, who's here, Comcast, who helps us every week.
Where would we be without Robin Souza?
It's wonderful to be here, and we're looking forward to coming back in the fall. And we want to thank everybody at home, you know, who watches us, because we would be nothing without them.
That's right,
and,
our team.
So, you know, I'll see you in a few weeks anyway, but for everybody at home, have a wonderful summer. Go to the movies, make some movies, share them with us, and please contact us in any way, shape, or form that you can to be a part of the Easton Film Festival, because we're looking for everybody in the town of Easton. So have a good summer on behalf of Bill Ames and myself, Lauren Swartz. Thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in September. Good night.